have some interesting things to share with you today from Gil and my latest couple of expeditions out to the farm field. One thing when we go out there is, yes, you will find arrowheads probably. You may find stone drills or spear points. All the average things that you'd think of finding on an archaeological site where ancient people have lived. However, at the same time, you find many things that are artifacts, but are of a total different class than projectile points. Some of them are quite curious indeed. And in the last couple of days, Gil and I both found some very interesting pieces, unusual pieces. Now, today was we went out today, very nice, overcast in the morning, but just perfect weather to be out on the farm field. It was just lovely. And then yesterday, though, we were out there, and we had to shelter in place underneath some trees as a storm went through. Not a really bad storm, but just thunder and a little bit of lightning and some pretty huge drops of rain. But we survived it, and we found some pretty cool things to show you while we were out there. Now, as I show you these pieces, I'm also going to show you, there'll be an enlarged still picture either on this side or this side. But the first thing I want to show you is probably the smallest complete, beautifully worked artifact that I have ever found. And that is it's a piece of chert. It's been pressure flaked all the way around the oblong shape. What was it for? What was it used for? I don't have a clue, and I've done some initial research on it online and have found nothing comparable to it. Fascinating piece. Now, I wouldn't have found that if I hadn't have been, instead of walking along the field, I was down on my hands and knees looking for artifacts. And when I do that in certain areas, there are a lot of little tiny fragments and pieces of things, which is why that probably got overlooked before by myself and by Gil. But also, today, I went out to one spot out there with the intent of just spending a couple hours there looking for small artifacts. And there are, it doesn't look like it, but there's quite a few pieces in this little bowl, and some of them I think are completed artifacts. Not quite as nice as that one I just showed you, but complete nonetheless. Alright, now, also found this very unique piece for out here. I've seen, I believe it's a punch, or I can't think of the word for it now, but it's a punch, or an awl. But all the awls I've ever seen before have been made of bone and copper. This one is a stone awl. It would have been longer than it is here because it was broken off prehistorically. This end is pretty much intact, but very, very cool piece. Even broken at this, it was modified by pressure flaking along this edge and this edge, so it was still used even after it was broken. Very unique piece. Never found anything like that before. In stone, anyways. All right. A tool that the woodland people used a lot were stone wedges. Now, on other sites, I've found many, many stone wedges, but at this particular one, this is the only wedge stone that I have found so far. And you can see it's the wedge shape, and this end looks like it's been hit, driving it into whatever was going to be split. But it's a wedge used in woodworking to split wood. And it may have had a few other pieces too, or purposes too, but anyways. This piece is rather unassuming from this side. There's a piece that had been removed here and here by flint knapping, but when you turn it over, you can see what the maker of this piece was trying to achieve. It would have been a stemmed point. You see that it was being worked by the native brave down to a stem here, and this would have been, the point up here. There was actually quite a bit of work done on it, and why they left it incomplete, I don't know. It's a nice piece of stone. For some reason, though, it didn't meet their need for a spear point, maybe the curvature of the piece, but it was used as a knife also. So it really just kind of a cool piece that I stumbled upon today. Let's see. Here we have, over the years I've found many stones like this that have a V-shaped notch in them. This notch was not natural. I believe this was altered by man in ancient times, probably early woodland, and that it was used for various things, for processing perhaps plant fibers to weave or into cordage. It could have been used for a lot of things. It could have been used for just to straighten arrow shaft or to smooth an arrow shaft as it was being made. So it's not a pretty artifact, but it is very important to the story of what went on in ancient times. This is another curious one. This one is really weird, but very thought out quite well. It is a flint or chert knife, and you'll see the blade is right here, and you can see that along the blade it has been pressure flaked to make that much sharper. And this is unique because you can use this as a handle, and you could apply great pressure to what you were trying to cut through with this. So it's an unusual piece. I've not seen another one like it before, but that's common. You will find on farm fields and different sites that were occupied for long periods of time, different things that you haven't seen before, or that it's hard to identify the purpose. Obvious that it was an artifact, but difficult to identify the purpose. Now here is a flake of chert. The flake is from, of course, waste from making other stone tools. Now this one is neat though, because along the edge here it has been pressure flaked, making it very sharp again for cutting, and you could apply good pressure and cut with it. It's a very nice piece actually. Utilized debitage is what the scientific term for it is. We call it trash, but that's just the way it is. Here we have a rounded nosed scraper, and it's just one of those pieces that a lot of people would not even bother picking up, but it tells part of the story of what went on at this particular site, part of the story that we would not glean from any other way, just from collecting, say, arrowheads. This is a projectile point arrowhead that is stemmed, so it's probably early woodland, later cake or early woodland. It looks like it's made out of hornstone to me, and definitely looks like it had been heat treated to toughen it. It's a very, very nicely made point though. Very nicely made. There are a few other little things here, like this. There are a lot of crude pieces. For every really nicely made arrowhead or artifact, there's crude pieces like this too. And this is brought down to a very sharp edge, and was a scraper or chopper, handheld, not hefted onto a handle. This one also very crude. I believe, I'm not 100% sure why I picked this one up, to tell you the truth, except it looked like maybe it had been used for hammering on this edge. So it could have been a hammer stone, or it could be just a stone. I'm not sure on that piece, to be honest with you. This is an odd ovate form because on this side, one flake has been taken off and it formed that side. But as you look at it this way, you can also see where it's been worked along the edges. Now this is a brown type chert, probably from a cobble brought down by the glaciers in the last ice age as the ice sheets retreated off from Michigan, and deposited so many different kinds of beautiful stone. And I find a lot of this kind of stone over there, and it's a brown, almost a caramel brown color, and the Indians. My friend Jerry Wagner always told me that the Indians gravitated towards this color. It was kind of the color of life, if you will. And so I was thinking Jerry when I see any artifact because he taught me. But when I see a colored shirt like this, nice piece. Nice piece, but probably walked over in the decades that that site has been surface collected. I bet you that's probably been walked past at least 100 times, and probably 25 times of those was Gil and I, 25 times each. It's amazing when you go back over. You can go back over the same area there during the you know, the next day after you've been there. You can go to the same area and there will be new stuff revealed, whether it must be part of the action of the wind, because we really haven't had a lot of rain to uncover things there. In fact, I'm hoping we get some soon. So, my dear friends, these are what I wanted to show you. The one I'm looking at right now is really crude, and I picked that up thinking it was an arrowhead, and I still think it might have been, but it was worked very crudely, very crudely. Anyways, that's what I got to show you. Hope you've enjoyed taking a look at these pieces, and I enjoyed bringing them to you and sharing them with you. I have so many projects set up that I want to do videos on, so there will be more coming at you. I'm changing how I'm doing things. I'm going to do 2 videos, as a rule, 2 videos on Sunday, the Gospel Hour, and then something in the evening. Then I'll do one on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday or Saturday. But anyways, I'm going to try to keep to a schedule somewhat like that. Thank you for joining me. I love all of you very much on the other side of that, that monitor. Don't you ever forget it. If you feel lonesome and alone, please know that there's somebody here that does care about you, and each and every one of my subscribers, and just viewers that drop in. I do care about you very much. All right, I will quit babbling now, and God willing, be back with you real soon. Much love to all. God bless.